special teams, but on that first play from scrimmage, and the Bee Diggers already on the second play from scrimmage are in the red zone.
Same formation, Nate Ty under center here. They go quick hitter again, this time up the right side, nothing doing there.
And that was Tanner Ludgate, and he was swallowed up.
Once again, your key to the contest brought to you by Buildings by Design. First impressions are important. Buildings by Design will make your vision a reality. Visit buildsbydesign.com.
Johnny Wyrick made the tackle there, setting up this 2nd and 10.
Tight end off the right side here, full house, up the middle, Brush goes again. I believe that's Griffith one more time. Might have got a couple before he got pushed back. They're going to move to a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Kean Baxley was in on the tackle along with, I don't have 58 on the roster here, but nonetheless, now it's 3rd and 8. You know they're going to have to throw the ball at some point tonight.
58 is Chase Heck. He wears 6 or 58.
There you go. Yep, I've got him here under number 6.
As we said, league title on the line. Can't ask for a better way to start the game here, well inside University territory in the red zone already. University bringing several men up front there. They stop, I believe. I think they gave the ball to Dominic Ontiveros there. He stopped up the middle for no gain.
Well, it's a 4th down and 8, and you ran the same play essentially, maybe a modified version of that first play 3 consecutive times. So, again, they're going to have to pass at some point, and this is a big play already. Just over 2 minutes into the game, and they're going to set up for a 35-yard field goal here, Tyler.
Freshman kicker Eric Rico here. Good on the year and limited opportunities. This one kind of pooched it up there like a chip shot. University can return this thing out of their own end zone. They try to do so. Return man's going to get out past their own 20-yard line. Rico looked like he was rushed a little bit there on that kick, and it's no good. And University withstands a good return there by Juan Sanchez. We'll give you your starters, brought to you by B&B Appliance. Refrigerators, vacuums, and everything in between. Visit B&B Appliance on Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. On offense for the visiting Bulldogs, they go with number 2, Kean Baxley, number 3, Logan Getting, number 4, Marcus Loma, number 5, Gabe Puga, number 15, Johnny Wyrick, number 25, Jacob Cruz, number 43, Barrett Payne, number 44, Giovanni D. Santiago, number 56, Tyler Engel, number 57, Titan Bentley, and number 81, Gage Schmink.
And watch out for Cole Crosent, the quarterback. And they got 4 to the left right now.
No one in the backfield for the quarterback. He's going to be dropped there in the backfield. Flag flies. Ty Griffith came flying in there like a rocket. Held up the passing lane, and we'll see what the flag's all about.
Well, it's going to be a sack and a hold against University. The sack goes from the 22 to about the 17 or 18-yard line. The Bee Diggers were all over him. If they can generate that type of pass rush, they're going to be in trouble. But what do you do here? Take the penalty or go second and about 14 or 15?
University's led from the sideline by head coach Casey Doss. On the flip side, your Brush Bee Digger defense, number 8, Wiley Eicher, number 9, Aiden Gutierrez, number 11, Hunter Proctor, number 21, Dylan Snelling, number 23, Levi Cox, number 35, Ty Griffith, number 37, Tanner Ludgate, number 59, Caden Castrop, number 63, Cole Curtis, number 65, Dominic Ontiveros, number 79, Samuel Thomas Pawson, number 87, Kale Stegner.
Well, now they're going to have to adjust the clock because that clock was running for a good 40 seconds when it should not have been running. I think this penalty was against Brush. I think I had that wrong. It was a sack, but it was a 5-yard face mask that moved the ball forward.
Yeah, so they're going to have like a 1st and 12.
Yeah, 9:31 on the clock there. 9:31 is what I believe I heard. So nearly a full minute ticked off the clock.
We'll see if they can get it reset here before both teams are back up to the line waiting. There's it reset. Clock should start running here on.
Well, now it's going to be a 1st and 12 at their own 20.
2 split out to either side now. Slot man from left comes in motion left to right. It's a quarterback draw. They keep it. Brush is all over that one again. Take another loss of 3 or 4 yards there, and it's a long 3rd down on University's first possession. Or 2nd down.
Yeah, well, and Kale Stegner was one of 4 Bee Diggers in on the play. No gain, and Crosent's one of the leading ground gainers, but this could be this could be one of these games that it's going to take both offenses a while to generate a lot of success.
They're on the far hash, 3 split out to the left. That's the wide side of the field. Looks like a blitz is coming off the left side, and that blitz will get home. 3 beat diggers there in on the stop. Now it's a long 3rd down.
Wow. I mean, that was a tremendous pass rush. I mean, what do you do there? That was a play that could not be made by Croson because he had absolutely no time whatsoever. And you mentioned there were 3 beat diggers there tied her in on the sack. They've got to get to the 32-yard line. They're back at their own, 15, so it's a 3rd and 17.
Brush is not too concerned with having plenty of guys in the secondary here. They're sending, I think, a blitz on every play so far. As Croson's going to roll to his left here. Flag flies again. Pass is well overthrown, out of bounds. We'll see what the flag is. It's in the backfield around the 12-yard line.
Well, the intended receiver along the sideline for University was Paxton Daggett, who's the leading receiver for this team. But that's going to be another hold against University. And that's a good sign for Brush because that means they're struggling to block any of these beat diggers. And if Brush can just get some offense going and get out to about a 2-touchdown lead, then University is going to have to force to put the ball up quite a bit in this game.
I take it Brush declined that penalty. It should be 4th down here.
Yeah.
There they go. They do finally change it. University should punt this thing away.
Here's another key, Tyler. Catch the ball of your Sanchez like he did on the
Sanchez
kickoff.
Stands at his 50-yard line. Ooh, that punt is blocked straight up in the air. Hits inside the 20, takes a brush bounce, and is covered up right about the 10-yard line. You cannot ask for better special teams play here to start this game for Brush, as now they've got an even better opportunity, if you can believe it, to score on their second possession of the game. 7:50 to go in the first. No
While
score.
the punter was Johnny Wyrick.
He was standing really close.
He probably could have been a couple of yards further back, and that allowed the beat diggers to come through, and there was one beat digger who just got a paw on the football. Now the ball's at the 10-yard line for the beat diggers. You cannot ask for anything better. However, they were in the red zone last time and did not score.
Snelling, Griffith, Ludgate, your running backs in the backfield. They give it to Ty Griffith up the middle. He's going to gain about 5 yards there. Not very often do you start an offensive drive in a goal-to-go situation.
Griffith now with 4 carries for 17 yards with that ball just shy of the 5-yard line. Just keep pounding here. Listen, if you cannot pick up 5 yards on 3 downs, you don't deserve to win.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
even if University's stacking the box, and they got some big dudes in the middle. So do we, though. I mean, you look at our center. Frankie Garrett's the biggest player on the field. 3 running backs again. Up the middle they go. Nate Tyne fakes that keeper. University doing a good job of covering that up. We'll set that up for later.
Yeah, that was Griffith again, but only a gain of 1. You know, they have that tight end dump play that they use, usually set up by the run. But you got to be careful here because you know that Coach Rosenbrock was 6:48 to go in the opening quarter, no score. Doesn't want to put the ball up too much, especially knowing that he can pound it into that University defense.
Brody Dick checked into the game here for Brush. They go 3 running backs again. Dom's in there this time. He gets it up the middle. Dominic Ontiveros has got the first score of the game as your Brush beat diggers take it in from 6 yards out. Go up 6-0 with 6:29 to go in the first.
Yeah, you're not going to tackle him once he gets, and he doesn't even need an open lane.
He makes the open lane.
He makes the open lane.
If you're University and you saw Dom, that's the first time they brought Dom in the backfield for that play, and they ran that formation exclusively to start the game. You should have known there. You're like, well, 65's in the backfield as Eric Rico gets the extra point up and good. That's the kick he needed on that field goal. Either way, score now 7-0, 6:29 to go in the first. Brush leads after 2 possessions of really, really good starting field position.
That's the big weapon there with Ontiveros, because even a Ty Griffith at times, as big and strong as he is a running back that's going to be keyed on.
Right.
And Ontiveros is going to get the ball once, maybe twice a game. I mean, that's what he's pretty much averaged this season. But every time he touches it, he gets into the end zone.
Usually it's from 40 to 60 yards away, too. That's what's really funny about it.
Yeah, that is crazy. A 4-yarder there for Ontiveros for the 7-0 lead for the B-Diggers. A bigger game taking place tonight, or just as big, in Wiggins, as the Tigers are taking on the #1 ranked team in Class 1A, the defending state runner-up Lyman Badgers. We'll have updates of that game. We've got a correspondent out there who will be sending us updates throughout the course of the night, quarter by quarter.
Brush kicks off here north to south. Whistle blown, hand down kick. Kind of pooches it here. It's going to get to about the 25-yard line. University runs an end around here off the return. Doesn't really go anywhere. They're stopped shy at the 35-yard line.
Well, the B-Diggers were there to read it. Brevin Doss took the handoff, and he picked up really just 1 yard to the 27-yard line. It seems clear to me that based on what we've seen in the early going, University has to establish the ground game, because so far the pass rush has been fierce for Brush, and they've got a pretty good secondary. They'll pick off at least a pass a game if looking at the B-Diggers with Proctor and other guys in the secondary.
It looks like they don't really respect that passing game of University here as they go 2 wide to either side. Shotgun set, running back to the left. Slot man comes in motion right to left. They throw a screen pass out to him here. Caden Kastrup in tow. Hunter Proctor is going to get a holding call there on number 21 for University. The play only goes for about 3 yards, but it's coming back.
That's 3 or 4 penalties against the Bulldogs, and that's going to go down as a rush, which will be nullified anyway because it was a lateral. And I think that penalty, Tyler, was behind the line of scrimmage, which was the 32. This could set up like a 1st and 22 instead of a 1st and 20, as the official looks like he's about to walk it off for the 30-yard line. And again, these are great signs for Brush. You could say, well, University's playing sloppy, but that means they're having trouble blocking the B-Diggers.
Well, you can tell the B-Diggers came out fired up to start this game.
Yeah, and it's a 1st and 23. It's back at the 19.
University going the wrong way. University in their away white unis. A good-looking uniform, all white, blue numbers. Brush ditched the gray pants. Thank goodness. They are in white pants, maroon tops. Pistol set here. They run a reverse to the right side here. They turn the corner, pick up about 7.
That's Paxton Daggett on that little reverse/jet sweep that a lot of teams have started running in the NFL, especially when the wide receivers are being neutralized. They'll use a wide receiver as a running back. But Brush has got good lateral movements. I mean, they cover sideline to sideline, but as you mentioned, it was a pretty good gain, even though it's still a 2nd and long for University.
They ran it to the short side of the field, though. I don't quite understand that. They're on the far side this time. They got 3 wide split up to the wide side here. They roll that way. Quarterback turns it up the field here across the 30. He's down the middle of the field. Got a man to beat. Nobody's going to catch him, as University's going to tie up this game. No flags to be
75 yards for Cale Crosent. The B-Diggers overran the play. Check it, Cole Crosent, and it's 7-6. Brush. And that's what happens. You had containment right there, and then one huge cut right up the middle, and he is fast. And the Bulldogs are on the board just like that.
Really the only play of significance for University. Unfortunately, you're right, it goes for 75 yards. As the extra point here is down, it looks up and good. University has indeed tied this game at 7 with 5:33 to go in the first quarter.
That's deflating because you feel the B-Diggers have made every good play except one. But the one play they didn't make went the distance, as the extra point was made by Avery Sewer. And tied at 7, we're back where we started, as we have 5.5 to go in the opening quarter. Well, hopefully they'll learn from that play, Tyler, because they were there.
They were there. They were there. You contained, you strung it out, and I feel like the linebackers just kind of, that second level, over-pursued to the sideline and gave him a lane up the middle, because there was nothing doing. They want to get to the outside on a play like that. There was nothing doing to the sideline.
Well, now Sir will kick it off.
Good news is last time Sanchez touched the ball, he nearly took it to the house.
You almost feel like Brush should be up in this game, maybe 14-0, and now it's 7-7.
10-7 at the least would be great.
Right.
Any kind of pooch kick here. They keep it away. Sanchez will, nope, he will not pick it up. Wiley Eicher grabs it. Kind of took it out of Sanchez's hands. Neither one of them, I don't think, was going to go anywhere. That's actually a pretty good kick. If you got a kicker that you're not confident can get it out of the back of the end zone, pooch it there, make the return man run up to it, and gives your guys time to get down there.
Well, especially after that 55-yard kickoff return of the previous kickoff. So I think it was more about extending kick coverage a lot better than before when it was not there.
26-yard line is a starting point for your Beat Diggers. They come out in that 3 running back set again. Griffiths the man in the middle, Ludgate to his right, Snelling to his left, Tyne under center. They fake the pitch to the outside. They give it up the middle to Griffith, and there's nothing doing there.
And it's only a gain of 1, and Griffith has only had 1 significantly big carry. He's got 6 carries so far for just 20 yards. And this is a guy that can easily break 1 or 2 and go for a couple of 100 yards. He scored 11 touchdowns in 3 league games. His worst game was last week with only 3 touchdowns.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What a disappointment.
Exactly. That's how good he's been.
So Brush is going to come out in a different formation here. Their 3rd possession of the game, they go 2 running back set. 1 split out to the left here. They give it to Ludgate. There's nothing doing. That is number 2 for the University Bulldogs, Kean Baxley.
Well, they're not blocking that misdirection whatsoever. I mean, whenever you give it to a running back and he loses 4 yards, and now it looks like one of the Beat Diggers is hurt out there holding his right arm.
I think that's Caden Castro.
Yeah, that looks painful over there for Kastrup. Yeah, like his right elbow. He's in significant pain, and that's going to change the framework of the offensive line for the Beat Diggers. It'll set up a 3rd down and about 13 to go at their own 23-yard line. They got to get to the 36, and you've yet to throw a pass. You're in the waning minutes of the first quarter.
4 minutes to go. As the clock ticks. Caleb Jimenez, number 55, will replace Kastrup here. They go 3 running back set again behind Nate Tyne. They split 3 now out into motion. Ludgate will come back in.
Play clock is running down. They better get it off here. They do.
Tyne will roll out to his right. He's got Eicher down the field. He checks it down to the 30-yard line.
That's Ludgate.
Yep, Tanner Ludgate makes the catch on the sideline, but it doesn't gain a lot. They get past the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they get to the 31. It's a gain of 8, but they're going to have to punt after that excellent pass thrown by Nate Tyne. I mean, you just cannot get in these long situations, especially in a game as big as this. But I think they're going to have to diversify the playbook. Lots of plays up the middle. They tried that misdirection, and they were swallowed up.
I'm all for setting the team up, especially in the first quarter. Griffith will punt it away here. He stands at his own 20. It's a high punt, crosses the 50. Takes a University bounce shy of University's 40-yard line. It'll get down right inside the 42, 43-yard area. The University will trot back on for their 3rd offensive possession with 2:57 to go in the first, tied up 7-7.
That's excellent field position, only a 27-yard punt. But the one thing you feel good about is your pass defense so far. They have defended the pass very well with the pass rush and the coverage. Now you just have to contain this quarterback, Cole Crosand, who on the previous play from scrimmage for University went 75 yards for a touchdown. And you know, if he hits that second wave, they're not going to touch him.
3 wide to the left, 1 to the right, running back to the left. Crosand takes the snap. He's looking right. He throws a bubble screen out there. That pass is bobbled. Oh, tackle broken there. First down picked up, down University sideline, down inside the 30. Got to make that tackle. Believe it was number 3 to make the catch.
Yeah, that looks like
Logan
Logan getting for a gain of 27 to the 30-yard line, but that should have been a gain of 3. That's shoddy tackling there by Brush.
They go same formation. Yep, same formation again. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. Crosent into backfield. Man in motion. They fake that jet sweep. Crosent goes up the middle, picks up another first down. Inside the 20-yard line. It'll be University with another first down inside the red zone.
That's a gain of 13, too. He had no problem finding a seam in the middle. That is 2 carries for 88 yards for Cole Crosent. After the first one, he had went for 0.
I don't think Cade Kastrup has made it back. I don't even see him on the sideline anymore. Crosent will go. I think it was an option there, and he decided to keep it. That was the wrong option as he goes nowhere. He's dropped in the backfield.
Well, he ran into a blocker on a 1st and 10 and taken down, looks like by Dylan Snelling for a loss of 1 back at the 18-yard line. That's what you have to do. You've got to keep him in the middle of the field because once he slants to the outside, then when you have cutback options like he did on that 75-yard touchdown, that's when the Beat Diggers are in trouble.
Minute 20 to go in the first. Score still tied at 7. University inside brushes 20-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Running back to the right of Crosent. Takes the snap. He's looking left. He goes back right. That pass is just a hair high for his intended receiver.
That was Logan Getting near the goal line, and it was just overthrown. That looked like a jump ball situation, although the Beat Diggers had that defended very well along the far sideline.
So pass ball is incomplete. It's another 3rd and 11.
Well, you need the pass rush right now, like they did earlier in this quarter. Because I don't know anything about University's kicking game. We just found out about Brush's kicking game, which is good, but it was just a bad connection there by Rico, who last week nailed a 35-yarder in Keensburg.
They're going to go 2 wide to either side this time. Running back to the right of Crosent again. Crowd into it. Fake the handoff, go across the middle of the field. They got a man wide open. University's going to go up here, because that's another touchdown for the Bulldogs. That is number 10, Paxton Daggett.
18 yards away, he was wide open on that slant. Daggett's first reception of the night, and it goes from 7-0 Brush to 13-7 University, and that was on a 3rd and 11. That's why that's a big killer. That's like a 2-out base hit.
Just under 1 minute to go in the first. University takes the lead. All important extra point. Snap down, kick is up. Did you push that right? Nope, pushed it through the middle. 14-7 is your score. University leads with 54 seconds to go in the first.
I mean, let's make this clear. You win this game, you're in the playoffs as the league champion. You lose, you have no shot. No shot, because these teams lost 3 non-conference games. That was the tougher part of their schedule. This is one of the weaker leagues, if not the weakest in 3A, because it's Brush and University and everybody else that's really not within range of those 2 schools, as Brush and University took care of Arvada. They took care of Weld Central. University will beat up Sterling next week, and Brush will take out Tinmouth. But this is a big drive now for the Beat Diggers, considering that they haven't had to play with a long field yet, and the only time they did, as it looks like Kastrup's got some sort of wrapping on that right elbow. Let's see if he can get back in. I don't know about that.
That is a lot of wrap on that.
It's almost like he dislocated the elbow, and it's put back in place. Looks very stiff, and I'm sure he wants to get back into the game.
Surely did not feel good here. It's another kind of pooch kick. He's going to get just past the 30-yard line. Brush return man, that's number 3. Let me look at my roster real quick. Percy Yodel takes that return, gains maybe 5 yards. So league winners are guaranteed a playoff spot. That's why winning this game is so important. But you're right, the RPI will not be kind to a team that lost 2 non-league games to 1A schools.
Yeah, I mean, Wiggins a very good 1A school, so is Yuma. You had a chance to beat Yuma. You were tied with Wiggins in the 3rd quarter. And then you lost to Rifle, a game in which you led going into the 4th quarter. Yep. And that, of course, is a 2A school. So you lose those 3 games. The only way you make the playoffs is by running the table in league play.
3 running back set again. Ludgate, Griffith, and Snelling. Left to right, Snelling goes in motion. Turn around, hand it off to Griffith. He's got to sidestep a man. He's stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Clock winding on 40 seconds to go in the first. University holds a 14-7 lead.
He only gained that 1 yard by being tackled backwards by Titan Bentley. And again, Griffith, after a 10-yard carry, being held in check in this opening quarter.
Titan Bentley, Tyler Engel, those are big dudes in the middle of the field. And Brush is just going to let this go ahead and go to the second quarter. We'll take a quick timeout, come back right here on 1010 KSIR, Brush, Fort Morgan. Second quarter action nearly underway. Tyler Carmen, John Beltran from Beat Digger Stadium here as Brush starts the second quarter with 2nd down and 9 to go. They flip fields. Brush is heading north. That play to Tanner Ludgate goes nowhere, and it'll be another 3rd and 9 here, 3rd and long.
Well, in the first quarter, Ludgate ran a counter left, nothing there, a counter right, nothing here. So now this 3rd and 9, as you mentioned, at your own 33-yard line, trailing 14-7 are the Beat Diggers. And, again, the only way they're going to loosen up that defense is with a passing game.
Momentum really swung very quickly in that first quarter. Brush has an absolutely fantastic start. Good special teams play, good starting field position. Should have at least 10 points on the board. Instead, they're stuck with 7. Missed field goal helps with that. Brush goes hard count here, trying to get University. They got him, but unfortunately, they got their old man, Kel Stegner, too. So 3rd and 9 just now turns into 3rd and 14.
Yeah, they look totally out of sync here. And the only way, as I mentioned, they're going to get going is with that passing game, because the passing game will set up the running game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last pass play they had picked up 8 yards, a good pass play. Fortunately, it doesn't do you any good when you're 3rd and 10 plus.
Right.
Man split out to either side now, 2 running backs behind Tyne under center. Another whistle here. Brush calls a timeout. First of the game. Timeout brought to you by Bank of Colorado. They believe in keeping things simple. Apply for the loan you need for your dream home fully online. Visit bankcolorado.com for all your information today.
Well, we knew this going in. The University had a more balanced offense than Brush. Brush is primarily run-oriented, and when that running game is working, they don't even care about the pass, and they shouldn't, because why go to a second dimension if the first one is controlling the line of scrimmage? However, when that is not happening, and then your passing game has got going, you go from 2 dimensions to no dimensions. University's got a touchdown run and a touchdown pass, so they've already explored both dimensions. And the one thing they did, they made adjustments in their pass blocking, because Crosent had plenty of time on that 3rd and 11 when he found Daggett over the middle for the second touchdown for the Bulldogs.
Yep. That first quarter flew by. Forgot to mention, first quarter brought to you by Premier Farm Credit. For over 100 years, they've been providing affordable, reliable, and consistent credit. Visit PremierACA.com. Out of the timeout, Rush will go 2 running backs out here, 3rd and 14. Should go hard count again. They don't. Tyne will drop straight back, throw a flare out to his running back. That's Ludgate. He gets maybe a couple yards before he's tackled there out of bounds on the University sideline, and Brush will have to punt it away again from their own 30.
University does what Brush does. They tackle well, and they're tackling very well. And to be honest with you, calling that play does nothing. A pass out in the right flat on a 3rd and 14 is almost a wasted play. You have to rely on Ludgate in that case breaking a tackle, and that didn't come close to happening.
Well, and even if he breaks that tackle, he still has got 12 or 13 yards to go before he gets to the first down marker, and there was 2 more University defenders downfield that would have closed quick. So 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. University leads 14-7. They're going to get the ball back here as Griffith gets off a pretty good punt. Fair catch called at the 40-yard line. University will take that starting field position all day long.
Not bad. A punt of 31 yards with no return, but you're right. The field position is still very favorable for University, which has scored on their last 2 drives. And if it happens again right now, Tyler, the Beat Diggers are in significant trouble, because that offense has been very, very limited so far.
And that offense as a whole is not really an offense designed to come back when you're down 2 scores or more. It's definitely an offense built to have a lead. University comes out 4 personnel in the backfield, just one receiver split out to either side. They send 3 of them out now to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Crosent takes the draw up the middle here. He's going to get up past the 45-yard line, give him 8 yards. A couple yards shy of the 50-yard line.
Brody Dick was in on the play, but that's a smart setup there by University. You spread out those receivers and you open up the middle for Crosent. That's why he went for 8 yards, because all of a sudden B Diggers have to account for those receivers who are not even part of the play, but that's what University and head coach Casey Doss wants to do to that B Digger defense.
You take half your defense and put them away from the play. This Crosent's going to go off the left side this time. I think he stopped short of the first, or right there close to it. We'll see where they spot it here. They do. Rush gets a favorable spot. It'll be 3rd and short here, 3rd and 1. 50-yard line is your line to gain. 9 minutes to go in the second.
Yeah, Crosent is not very tall. He's a diminutive quarterback, which makes it even tougher to tackle him because he can sneak around defenders.
He's got a big offensive line, too. He kind of hides behind him.
That's it.
3rd and 1. Brush looks like they're sending the house. Brush did not. I'm looking right down the line of scrimmage. No Brush B Digger crossed it, so flag flies here.
Yeah, it's a false start. They already signaled it from the sideline. But you know what? They can still run the ball.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a 3rd and 6 is not necessarily a passing situation for University.
But they have that option, too.
They have that option, and Paxton Daggett and Logan Getting are 2 premier targets for Cole Crosent.
That slant on that touchdown for Daggett was, I mean, he was wide open. It was a really nice route run by him. The defensive back was playing too far back. You break that thing halfway off, and you're wide open in the middle of the field.
And if they flush him out of the pocket, that's no big deal for Crosent because he's not very tall. That actually opens up the vision lane for him.
One man split out to the right, 3 to the left. Crosent goes up that left side. Across the 50-yard line, 1st down picked up. I never actually saw him cross the 50.
None of us did.
I just saw a bunch of white jerseys do it, and I figured, well, he must have as well.
No, nobody saw it. I don't know if Crosent himself saw him do that, but it's a gain of 9, and Cole Crosent has exploded for 105 yards on 7 carries in the opening half. And with a 14-7 University lead, 7:44 to go before the break.
From the Brush 47 here, 3 split out to the right. Man in motion left to right. That's Daggett. They faked the jet sweep to him here. Good job there by Cale Stegner. But Stegner got hit where nobody wants to get hit.
Yeah, he took a shot there, but it's a gain of 1. Let's see if Stegner's going to stay in the game. And they need him in the game, especially with Caden Kastrup all banged up right now.
Just a 1-yard gain for Crosent.
They're still working on Kastrup on the sideline. And they've got it 2nd and 9 at the 46. Big play defensively for the B Diggers over the next 2 plays.
3 to the right again. Wide side. Brush looks like they're bringing pressure here. They throw a bubble screen out to number 2. Tough to bring down as he's across the 40-yard line. I think he's got enough for the 1st down. Far ref signals it here. 1st down for University. That's Kean Baxley there on the reception.
That's an excellent play design. Yeah.
Yep.
Because the B Diggers were charging through the middle, and all of a sudden you eliminate the middle when you throw out to the wide side there.
That takes a commitment from the other receivers to block, and they did exactly that.
Yeah, you got to stop them here if you're Brush. Remember, University receives a 2nd half kickoff. They're already leading by a touchdown.
They're bunched up to the left this time. Run a misdirection off the right side. That's number 11 there for University. He gets down to the 30-yard line. That's Brevin Doss.
Yep. Griffith made the hit. And Stegner, a gain of 7. 2nd down and 3. And everything that University's running now, for the most part, has been successful.
Halfway through second quarter. University leads 14-7, threatening here. Inside Brush territory at the 30-yard line. Second quarter brought to you by Stubbs Gas and Oil. One-stop shopping does exist. Gas, food, and all your travel accessories. Get off I-76 at exit 66A in Wiggins to visit them. One receiver to either side. Daggett comes in motion right to left, and we got a whistle blown.
That's the first time out by the Bulldogs with 5.5 to go in the opening half, and University 14-7. The B-Diggers got a 4-yard run from Dominic Ontiveros, and then University countered a 75-yard run by Cole Croson, and then on a 3rd and 11, that's the biggest play of the game so far. 3rd and 11, 18 yards from Croson to Paxton Daggett. And you look at the Brush offense to this point. The B-Digger offense has a total of 30 yards.
Well, their biggest chunk play was Ty Griffith there on that first drive. He gains, I think, 12 yards on his first carry, and since then, they haven't gotten into the double digits, so.
Not at all. 106 yards for Croson by himself. In fact, University has 173 yards of total offense to 30 for Brush. Lucky the B-Diggers are only down 14-7.
If not for that really good return by Sanchez to start the game, they might not be in the scoreboard.
And they didn't even score on that drive.
No, they got help there with a blocked kick. Daggett comes in motion right to left out of the timeout. They give it to him off the jet sweep. He turns the corner. They're breaking tackles. He stays up. He's down the left sideline, and he's going to mosey in for University's 3rd score of the night.
That was incredible. He should have been down at around the 20-yard line. Daggett goes 30 yards, and University has scored 20 unanswered points, and they lead 20-7.
5:20 to go in the second.
But Tyler, you've hit on the key. This Brush offense is not designed to rally.
It can do it, and it's been done before, but it's very tough, and it requires some breaks, and they may have already gotten their breaks with the big return from Sanchez, and just as I speak of it, extra point gets blocked.
Well, that could help.
Yeah.
Especially if you score a touchdown to make it 20-14. Now that extra point looms large.
And it wasn't blocked by a little bit. There might have been some anger taken out on the ball there.
That might have been Cole Curtis who got a hand on it right up the middle. And 63, that's what I thought. I'm staring down the number, but I think that was Curtis with a lot of athleticism getting his left hand on the ball. Now, the strategy is very simple here for the final 5 minutes and 27 seconds of the quarter. 5:20. Use up virtually most of the clock. Get into the end zone. Don't allow University to do anything. Play some defense to start the 3rd quarter, and you're right back into the game.
If I'm Joe Rosenbrock, all I'm concerned with, get a first down. Just get going and get a first down.
Well,
if you get one first down, you've at least established that, hey, we can move the ball, because since the score, they haven't moved it at all.
And University has moved it a lot. University has over 200 yards of offense in the first half. And again, Brush with only 30 yards.
Deep kick here by Sir. Hits the 30-yard line. It's going to get out of bounds. That'll help.
Well, that's like a big offensive play.
It is.
Instead of at the 15 or 20 or maybe the 22, now you're at the 35. Mm-hmm. So that's like a first down without having to get the first down.
Exactly. These are setting up here for Brush to get something going before the end of the first half.
Well, maybe they've got to throw something out in the flat. Not what they did on 3rd and 14, but right off the snap. Hit your receiver and see if they can make a move. You don't want to do it.
I'd rather you try that on first down
rather
than 3rd and 9.
Right, 100%.
If I had to guess, I don't think it's going to happen, though, because they go 3 running backs here to start. Tyne under center. Tyne with the keeper there around the right side. That's not too bad of a play. He picks up 5.
Well, Tyne's got some speed. That's exactly what you want. You've got to change it up. If you're always giving it to the lead back, you're going to be in trouble. But a 2nd down and 5, just keep it going here. Absorb the clock. The B-Diggers still have 2 timeouts to go, under 5 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. University with a 20-7 lead.
3 scores by the Bulldogs and a missed extra point. Brush one time in the end zone, had a missed field goal opportunity there on their first possession of the game. They come out in the same formation. Ludgate goes in motion right to left. Give it to Griffith up the middle here. Griffith busts through. That's a first down across the 45-yard line of brush. That's all I was asking for. Now you got a little bit of confidence here. First down picked up, 4:30 to go before the half.
You can take your time in the huddle as Brody Dick checks in for Wiley Eicher. And then run the next play and methodically move the ball down the field and use the ground game to get into the end zone. We'll find out if the Beet Diggers have got to air it out at any point, as University has 6 in the box.
They give it to Griffith again up the middle. Griffith pushing a pile. Picks up maybe 3.
Yeah, he had to sidestep a defender just to get to the 48-yard line. They'll backtrack it for only 2 yards. A 2nd and 8, not terrible yet, but 3rd and 8, then you're talking something completely different.
I'd rather see a pass here, too, rather than 3rd and 8. So
only 28 yards on 9 carries for Griffith. Eicher's back in along with Levi Cox for the 2nd down as the Beet Diggers approach midfield.
3.5 to go now in the second. Come out in the same formation here. They're on the far side of the field. Headed north. Griffith in at quarterback here. He fakes the handoff. Griffith bulldozes a would-be tackler there. Gets across the 50-yard line. He'll be about 2 yards short of the first.
All right, here's the bottom line with that carry by Griffith. Anybody else, you might get a couple of yards. Griffith, as you mentioned, he trucked that defender. He bulldozed him for a gain of 5, and now you got a very manageable 3rd down and 3 in University territory.
Ty took out a little bit of aggression there on the Bulldog defender. So Griffith will stay under center here. 2:40 to go. Second, 3rd and 3. Man in motion right to left. That's Ludgate. Griffith will go quarterback keeper here up the middle. First down picked up there. He squirted through for like 6 yards there when I don't think there was 3.
Well, University, one was not expecting that quick of a snap, and second, just that play call.
Yeah, if you go quick snap like that, now what Nate Ty needs to do, he needs to go hard count here and see if he can pick up some cheap yards as you're coming down on 2 minutes to go now.
Yeah, the Beet Diggers at some point are going to have to utilize a couple of timeouts because they are moving the ball methodically down the field, only 2 first downs so far on this drive.
Into plus territory they are. Tyne's going to throw a pitch out to Griffith here. Griffith gets to the outside, crosses the 40. Good job stringing it out there by University. He picks up maybe a couple.
Well, it looks like Heck was in on that play, Chase Heck. And now Brush is going to have to pass the ball. You got a 2nd down and 8 at the 39-yard line. You're not gaining big enough chunks of yardage. If this drive had started with about 8 minutes to go, that's a different story. But it started with just under 6 minutes to go, about five and some change. And you still have 39 yards to go. You have 2 timeouts, and this is the big play of the drive.
Less than 90 seconds now is Tyne. Gives it to Griffith, but University was in a hurry. And
now that's on Taveros.
You're right, on Taveros. The offensive line for Brush is 5 yards down the field without blocking anybody.
Well, and University is getting right through. 3rd and 6 at the 37. We're under a minute to go. Yeah, I think right now you don't take any chance. You got to throw this ball. Because even if you don't get it and you punt, University has no time left.
So Tyne nearly bobbles the snap there. Straight drop back. He goes down the middle of the field. Had Cale Stegner there. Double covered, but there was a window. Tyne, I think, just felt a little pressure there because he bobbled that snap. If he doesn't float that thing that bad, I think Stegner's got a pretty good chance to grab it.
It was defended, although there was a window there to get it into Stegner. So the situation of 4th and 6 from the 37 of University, 46.2 seconds to go. Trailing 20-7. You have 2 timeouts. Now you have 1 timeout because Coach Rosenbrock realizes that trailing by double digits with University receiving the second half kickoff, they have scored on their last 3 drives. You might not be able to afford to punt it in this situation.
why not call a timeout after your second down play? If you're going to call, I mean, if you're going to end up calling the timeout anyway, call it with a minute to go and 2 downs rather than 46 seconds to go and 1 down.
Well, exactly, and that way you would have accomplished the purpose of stopping the clock. The clock was already stopped anyway.
Right.
Well, let's see if we
if
see
you
something
go,
creative.
I mean, this.
What do you think they're going to run here?
I wish I knew. All I know is I don't want University to get it back at the 37-yard line in 2 timeouts with as good as Croson's playing. I don't like that at all.
Well, Tyne is 2 out of 3 for 9 yards passing.
They go 3-man split out, wide to the right, 1 to left. Stegner singled up over here to the left. Griffith's your quarterback. He fakes it. He rolls right. He's going towards the end zone into double coverage. That not a good decision there. Griffith could have ran for the first down. It looked like from my angle, but instead it's an incompletion and a turnover on downs. I don't like throwing it into double coverage at all, but that was his only read on that play.
It's not only that it was thrown into double coverage, but I don't think Ty had another option. Where's the safety valve? He might have been able to get the first down. There was a defender out there.
It would have been close.
It would have been close, but the bottom line, I mean, are you going for the touchdown or are you going for – clearly, we're not going for the first down. Now when you throw it all the way towards the end zone.
You're kind of hoping for a PI call there.
That's
the
only thing.
And in double coverage, that's kind of hard to get. So University takes over at the 37-yard line. They got 2 receivers split out to either side. They're running 4 verticals here. They're going deep down the middle of the field. That ball thrown just a little bit short there as Hunter Proctor. Not bad coverage, but Baxley started to gain some ground on him there, and if that ball's got just a little more air in it, that score might look a little differently right about now.
And you notice the B-Diggers are not getting the same pressure on the quarterback as they did in the first few minutes of the game.
Caden Kastrup's still not out there. Kel Stegner is your right side DN. Snelling is your left side here. 33 seconds to go. University still with 2 timeouts from their own 37. They go 3 to left, 2 to the right. Flag flies here 1 second into the play as Daggert was getting the end around. University gets a false start. That's a really late flag, false start penalty.
Lyman leads Wiggins 21-14 late in the second quarter in Wiggins. 2 ranked teams. Lyman is ranked number 1. They're undefeated. That's one of the feature games of the night in Morgan County along with this one. And right now both home teams are trailing. Wiggins by 7 and Brush trails University by 13.
3 left, 1 right. Running back to the left of Croson. Croson lost the snap there. Gets lucky and picks it up, and it'll only take a sack as Stegner gets credited with it. Clock stops with 26 seconds.
Well, but here's the deal. If you're University now, because it's going to be a third and about 25 yards to go, just take a knee.
Just
Brush has no timeouts.
You get the ball back. You get a fresh set of downs here at the start of the second half. So they may try and run a deep pass play here, try and get a PI call themselves, but
you take a knee. It's 3rd and 25.
Yeah,
it would be ridiculous to do anything else.
Timeout brought to you by Bailey Mechanical. Getting your house the right temperature is difficult. Call 970-522-0471 and let Bailey go to work for you.
And we do have an extensive halftime feature, so Tyler and I can take a nice break during halftime. So once we get to the third quarter, we will get more of the numbers here to you. But it's basically a clear-cut story. University with over 200 yards of offense, and the B-Diggers now have picked up some more yardage after those 2 first downs, but they're not even close to 100 yards.
That missed opportunity to start the game there, kind of wasting Sanchez's good return. That's really starting to look like it might come back and bite you.
Yep, the B-Diggers have 57 yards of total offense, and that's what they'll finish with at the end of the opening half, and they will take a knee.
University will take a knee to end the first half. They're up 20-7 over Brush here in a league title game. We'll take a quick timeout. Come back later. You know what? Let's not even bother with the timeout. Let's just go right into our halftime show real quick here. Already gave you the score, 20-7. You said it. Brush will end with 57 yards. University over 200 of yards on offense.
Yeah, Ty Griffith has 12 carries for 41 yards. The lone touchdown for Brush scored by Dominic Ontiveros from 4 yards out. But really the play that turned everything around, Brush had strung out the quarterback, Cole Croson. He cut it back to the middle. He went 75 yards for a score. They scored on their next drive, an 18-yard pass on 3rd and 11 to Paxton Daggett, and then another touchdown there, 30 yards on that jet sweep to Daggett. They had the extra point blocked. But with Croson running for 106 yards on 8 carries, he has almost double the yards that Brush has as a team on offense. And again, even the passing game has not been bad. 3 out of 6 for Croson, 1 touchdown, 54 yards. And that's the story so far. Even though the Beet Diggers have not committed a turnover, they trailed the game by a score of 20-7. Halftime show brought to you by Morgan Community College. As we will take a break. We'll take a 1-minute break, then go to the halftime feature. Then we'll come back for the second half. University 20, Brush 7 on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Welcome back in from your halftime show presented by Morgan Community College. Start your associate degree, continue your education, or get a specialized certificate. Visit morgancc.edu for more. At the half, Brush trails University 22-7. Tyler Carmen, John Beltran with you. Brush looking to make a rally here. They're going to have to do it on defense first as University's going to take the second half kickoff.
Could be a rough day for Brush Sports. The Beet Diggers softball team had an incredible season, but it finishes at 20-4, losing to Peak 5-3 in the opening round of the 3A state tournament. Then Peak would be eliminated by Lamar in the quarterfinals. And even though Brush has 1 game remaining after tonight on the football field, it'll be against Tinmouth on Thursday. They'll have nothing to play for except a winning regular season. Because if they don't rally here, they'll be 4-4. They'll beat Tinmouth, the first-year program. But as you mentioned, Tyler, they're going to start with defense. And I'm now convinced after the first 24 minutes of the game that the way they will get back into the game is by forcing a turnover sometime in the third quarter to create a shorter field, because they have not shown the capability of driving down the field, at least an extended field in the opening half.
Forcing a turnover, maybe special teams play here. Second half kickoff travels inside the 10-yard line. Croson takes it. He cuts it up the middle of the field. Juan Sanchez is going to be in the tackle. Croson gets to just shy of the 40-yard line. A flag is sitting at the 31.
Might have been a block in the back at around the 29-yard line as the flag was thrown just beyond the 30. It will be against University. The straight-up holding. Well,
so this is going to take him back inside the 20-yard line. That'll help Brush out.
Or maybe just outside, but it's around the 20. And at some point, you need somebody to key on Cole Croson, because if he gets loose, as he did in the first half, for not only a 75-yard run, but 106 yards on the ground on 8 carries.
Well, that's exactly the problem, is if you key in on him on the ground, he's going to throw it through the air, and they throw out 4 and 5 wide.
Especially with Paxton Daggett and Logan Getting, 2 primary targets.
They come out, 2 receivers to either side. One goes in motion from right to left. Daggett is going to take the keeper there up the middle. Nobody, and I mean nobody, accounted for Dominic Ontiveros as he came off University's right side untouched and drags him down just shy of the line of scrimmage.
Ontiveros did not even have the best angle, but he's so strong that he was able to wrap him around the waist and bring him down at the line of scrimmage for a 2nd and 10.
Well, a guy his size has a full run unimpeded. That helps. 3 wide to the left, 1 to the right. Running back to his right. Croson's going to throw a screen pass out here again. Brush defensive backs playing so far back. They're playing 10-plus yards back. That bubble screen is going to go for 20 yards out to the 41-yard line.
And that was Kean Baxley with a reception, his 2nd reception
There is 2 receivers out there and 1 defensive back within 5 yards of them. All the one receiver has to do is throw a mediocre block, and it's an easy 10-plus yard gain. I know Brush does not want to get beat deep, but you're going to have to come up and tackle.
Yeah, that was too easy. And there was a block thrown by a secondary receiver that freed up Baxley.
3 wide to the right this time, far side of the field. They give it to the slot man here on the jet sweep. He cuts it up the field, breaks a couple tackles, and gets around the 50-yard line. I think it's going to be another University first down.
Well, it's going to be a holding penalty against University. It'll be a 1st and 20 or 21 because that's what freed up Brevin Doss. In fact, he broke 2 tackles, but because of a violation against the University offense, that allowed Doss to gain additional yardage, but the Beat Diggers are going the other way. I didn't even see the face mask. I never saw the face mask. I thought there was a hold along the sideline occupied by University. All right, this changes everything. Wow.
That turns a good play into a really good play here as University walks into plus territory. Ball's going to be down at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, that's a gain of 10.
Minute and a half gone by. University starting to threat again. 20-7 is their lead. 2 running backs in the backfield here with Crosent. They give it to one of them up the middle. I believe that is number 3, Logan Getting, who takes the handoff, picks up 4 or 5 yards here. See where they spot it. Give him 4 yards.
Yeah, Getting is normally a receiver, but that time utilized as a running back. And you can feel this game completely getting away from Brush with a ball resting at the 32-yard line of the Beat Diggers.
3 receivers bunched to the left, 1 to the right. Crosent goes to the left. He's running to the short side of the field. Brush has this covered up very well. Tell him thank you for running to the short side of the field, because if he's able to stretch that out a little farther with his speed, it might be a different outcome. But instead, it's a run for no gain and a 3rd and 6 for University.
Well, the Beat Diggers were able to gang tackle on that play with at least 4 defenders in on that ball carrier. But they're inside the 35. They've got a 3rd and 6. This is 4-down territory, so you know you have to make 2 plays defensively to get the ball back. With 9 minutes to go in the 3rd, trailing University 20-7.
They bunch 3 to the left again. Ooh, University shoots themselves in the foot again as they get a false start. That helps.
Yeah, 3rd and 11 at the 37, because if they don't pick up any yardage here, they might decide to punt because they know their defense is much of a weapon as their offense.
Yeah, their defense hasn't had really any problems without the help of good field position on Brush's side. I don't know if they have a score in this game, but come out in the same formation here. 3 receivers bunched to the left side, the short side of the field. Crosent's going deep down the right side. He's got a man open. Ooh, good defensive play there by Wiley Eicher, who was somewhat beat on the play, but reaches up, knocks that pass down, falls incomplete, and it's 4th and 11.
And that pass was down near the 16-yard line.
Brevin Doss, the intended man, make sure to give Wiley Eicher a little bit of a shove in the back after that pass defended as well.
Well, what decision will the Bulldogs make, leading by 13?
I would say go ahead and go for it. I don't know why not. Like you said, their defense has been really good up to this point, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to spread out 4 wide here, 2 to either side. Crosent fakes the handoff. He's going across the middle of the field and well overthrown there. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication. That might even have been batted at the line. I don't know.
It was a terrible pass intended for Dackett at the 22-yard line. Would have been enough for a first down, but it was overthrown by at least 4 or 5 yards. And unless Dackett would have been about 7 feet tall, there's no way of being able to receive the pass. That's what the Beat Diggers have to build upon, this momentum, getting the ball in what is now favorable field position.
8:32 to go in the 3rd. 20-7 is University's lead. Brush takes over first possession of the second half. Starts off strong as a run up the middle, gains 9 across the 45-yard line.
Well, finally, Tanner Ludgate was able to be unleashed because up to that point, Ludgate had 2 carries in the opening half for a negative 4 yards. And just like that, he's got 9 yards. Remember, on the final drive of the first half, the Bee Diggers were able to generate 2 first downs, but they eventually went for it on a 4th and about 7, and then the incomplete pass at the goal line.
Tyne will stay under center here. 3 running backs behind him again. They run the same play.
Is a first down, but not by much.
Not by much.
Tanner Ludgate was the ball carrier. And we've seen that on 3 separate drives where the first drive or the first play goes off for 7 or 8 yards, and every other play after that is more limited.
So they finally moved the chains there. It took them a while to decide that that was a first down.
Brush is still on their own side of the field at the 47-yard line. Again, there's no sense of urgency in the third quarter, but at some point, you're going to have to pick up some chunks of yardage and get into that end zone.
Well, wasn't that, the perfect opportunity? 2nd and 1. Brush has got probably a dozen plays to gain a yard on 2 downs.
Absolutely. And past Brush teams have done that. 2nd and 1, put it up. If you don't get it, well, run it on 3rd and 1, get the first down, and everybody's bunched in tight here. Now they'll spread them out a little bit more.
Spread them out here. Griffith is in at quarterback. He's in the shotgun. 3 left, 1 right. I take that back. Griffith was the running back there as Tyne lets it fly right into the hands of Logan Getting.
Somebody did not run the right pattern, or Tyne misread it, because that's supposed to be a slant, and it's intercepted at the 43-yard line of University. A diving reception almost hit the turf. But somebody did not run the right play there, because I think he was throwing to an area where a receiver was supposed to cut, and the only one there was Logan Getting.
Yeah, there was. It looked like he threw it right to Getting. That's an early Christmas present from Brush as they give it right back to University, and just shy of University's 45-yard line. They go 3 left, 1 right here. Throw a bubble screen again. University receiver breaks tackles, gets all the way down close to Brush's 30-yard line.
That's Kean Baxley, a big, and they're running it so well that the catch is made. Then the other receiver is generating that block, and that's freeing the receiver who makes the catch, and that's a gain of 22 down to the 35-yard line, roughly the same spot they were there just a couple of minutes ago.
7 minutes to go now in the third. University up 20-7. Brush throws an interception on their first offensive series of the second half. University quick to take advantage of it. 3 left again. Now they're going deep to the right here. That's going to be a touchdown for University. Jump ball. I believe it was Wiley Eicher not able to come away with it.
Logan Getting from 35 yards out, his first touchdown catch of the game. Second touchdown pass for Cole Crosant. And University now has a 26-7 lead, about to make it a 20-point lead. And that's all that was, one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, one-on-one. They've run that play a couple times. Been close both times, and this time they hit home with it. Is Getting able to come away with it. Extra point is up and good. 27-7 is University's lead. 6:55 to go in the third quarter.
Here's the clear difference with these two teams. The Bee Diggers don't have balance on offense, and University does. And that's, I think that's evident from watching what's happened in the first 28, 29 minutes of football tonight from Brush.
Well, and Brush, you unbalanced or one-dimensional, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And I don't mind the play call where Tyne threw his interception, but I guess the execution isn't there. Maybe that's what scares Coach Rosenbach away from calling plays like that.
Well, Brush is now in the position, midway through this third quarter, they've got to score in every possession.
Yeah.
Because University is going to try to chew up time off the clock when they get the ball. And again, the Bee Diggers have not even generated 100 yards of offense. And University is at the 300 mark now. After the second touchdown pass of the game from Cole Croson, this time to Logan Getting. Daggett had the first one from 18 yards out to give them the lead.
Kickoff from Sir here. Going to make it to the 25-yard line. Caught there, turned up the field. Stopped shy of the 35. And that's where Brush will take over. Hunter Proctor was your return man there.
Well, and University, Tyler, they don't miss a tackle.
No.
Man.
No, Brush's defense has been eaten alive by missed tackles. And, I mean, you're right. University doesn't. I can't think of a time where I thought, oh, that's a missed tackle that led to a Brush big play. That hasn't happened.
I mean, look at that nose guard. He's a big, big kid.
Yeah, that's Tyler Engel. He's well fed. Nate Tynes got to run and scramble out of trouble here. He's running to the left, back down at the 20-yard line.
That's going to be a massive loss of about 14 yards, and Kean Baxley threw him to the ground. And there's really, I mean, the only way that Tyne was going to be able to get rid of that football is to throw it with his left hand because he was running to his left, and he's a right-handed passer.
Yep.
Yeah, you almost feel helpless now. 2nd and 24 after a huge, huge sack. And at this point, the Bee Digger coaches don't have any answers. It goes back to what you said. You failed on that first drive. You missed a field goal. You scored in the second. But that's been it.
So Griffith and Tyne are your man in the backfield here. Tyne's your quarterback. 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Tyne straight drop back here. He's going to swing it out and get knocked down at the line. Flag flies. I think we might get an unsportsmanlike conduct on somebody.
Yeah, that was batted down pretty quickly. It'll be roughing the passer. That's a big break. Still not an automatic first down. Johnny Wyrick was the one who batted it down.
Good play on his part.
But remember, this is high school football. It's a 15-yard penalty, but not an automatic first down. And since it was 2nd and 24, now it should be a 2nd and 9. But again, even a touchdown doesn't get you back into the game because you're down by 3 scores. It's at the 34. They've got to get to the 43. So, indeed, it's 2nd and 9. And at some point, with 5:50 to go in the third quarter, you have to say we have to abolish the ground game. I don't think it's time yet, but it's getting close.
Well, if you want any shot at all, you need chunk plays, and your running game is not designed to get chunk plays here. So there's a fumbled snap now on 2nd and 9. Nothing seems to be going right.
Well, the Bee Diggers recover it, but it's a loss. Back to the 32, second time we've had a bobbled snap. And now because of that, it's 3rd and about 12. Again, you lose this game, and your season is going to be over in the regular season next week.
Griffith's going to step in at quarterback here. Griffith's going to roll right. He's just going to keep this thing, get to the University sideline, turn it up the field, get tripped up across the 40-yard line.
Got a gain of about 10. It'll set up a 4th down and 2.
The chain gang kept it as 2nd down right there. It should have been 3rd.
Yeah. I mean,
so this should be 4th down.
Well, the Bee Diggers might take it if they can get away from it. Away with it, I should say. But no, that's crazy. That's because you had a 2nd down.
But you're right. It's not an automatic first down.
No.
Roughing the passer. So I don't know. 3rd and 3 is what the chain gang says here as a flag flies. Griffith's going to take it up the middle, get the first down.
That's got to be against Brush. If not, that would have been against University.
A
Sideline warning. So that is against Brush, but it's not going to affect the play.
Rosenbrock is heated.
Yep, it is a first down. 56 yards on 14 carries for Griffith. By far the leading ground gainer, but he's carried the ball more than anybody. 27-7 University with 4:23 to go in the third. And again, not a huge sense of urgency, but at some point, they're going to have it.
All right, the Eicher jogs to play in here. 3 running back set, tying under center. Ludgate in motion, right to left. Just shy of the 50-yard line. Give it up the middle, cross the 50. That is Griffith. 5-yard gain, I believe. Maybe 4.
Well, and when Griffith gets the ball, he's trying to run so aggressively that he'll pick up additional yardage just by backpedaling.
Right.
And
he's getting hit at the line of scrimmage.
That's the problem, is that he's starting quickly, but then his momentum slows down because of contact from the defense, and that doesn't do him any good, but he's only doing what he can do.
2 running backs behind Tyne this time. Tyne will keep it here, drop straight back. He's looking to the right side of the field. He's got a man wide open here down the right sideline. First down picked up across the 30. 87, Cale Stegner gets his first catch of the night, and it's a big one. He was wide open there as he slipped out the right side.
It's a gain of 19. And the thing is, Tyler, that's the type of play they should have run late in the first half on that 3rd and long. Go somewhat underneath and find the receiver instead of trying to hit the home run and have a play that was triple covered, essentially.
2 running back set again. Tyne fakes it again. Looking right. He's under pressure in a hurry. That's number 15 again, Johnny Wyrick, who gets the sack back behind the 35-yard line, loss of 8.
Again, that's why the B-Diggers need a safety valve. If you have a safety valve, Tyne can get rid of it, and that would mean just some running back that you can throw it at his feet for an incomplete pass, because 2nd and 10 sounds like a heck of a lot better than 2nd and 19.
That's a slow developing play for Tyne, too, because he's got to fake that handoff and he hides it for an extra second, and your offensive line's not blocking long enough for you to hold for that extra second. You need to drop straight back and be looking for a receiver. 1, 2. If you're getting anywhere close to 3, that ball should be out of your hands by then. Instead, at 2 seconds, he's looking. This time he rolls left. He's got a whole bunch of time. A wounded duck of a throw, but he's going to get bailed out by a really, really bad defensive pass interference call here.
Well, Eicher was the intended receiver, but the defender never turned around. Eicher went to the ground. Eicher did an incredible job of selling that call.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be a 2nd down and probably around 3 or 4. Again, not an automatic first down, a 15-yard penalty.
Tyne really wanted to wind up into that, and it kind of slipped out of his hands and almost looked like a punt flying through the air.
You know what? I think it almost turned out better because it's hard to find that connection. If not, he might have underthrown it, or, well, he did underthrow it. But if he overthrow it, then the defender.
Nothing comes of it.
Nothing comes of it. So here, you're looking at a 2nd down and 3 from the 23 of the University, down by 20.
Griffith's going to step under center now. Snelling's going to stay as a single back behind him. They split out two receivers to either side. Griffith keeps it himself off the right side of his center, picks up the first down.
That's the 2nd time he's done a quarterback keeper for 6 yards in a game. And Ty Griffith is going to go down swinging here, 66 yards on 16 carries. With the ball down to the 17, but this is taking up a lot of time for Brush. By the time the next play commences, they'll be under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. Down 27-7 for the league title.
Griffith will stay under center here. Eicher, Ludgate, and Snelling are your men in the backfield. He turns around, fakes the handoff to Snelling. He's running around the right side. He's gang tackled in a hurry. Castrip, Ontiveros, Cale Stegner not getting good enough blocks to set up a play like that. They're letting their defenders get down the line too quick. Ty doesn't have the time to fake that bootleg, regain the 2 or 3 yards. He's lost from the line of scrimmage and then gaining additional yards after that.
Well, the fact that he got back to the line of scrimmage was a heck of a play because all there was out there were white jerseys. To get back to the line of scrimmage and make it 2nd and 10 when it could have been 2nd or 12 and 13 allows the B-Diggers to pick up a first down here with trips to the left.
One to the right, running back to the right of Griffith. He rolls to the left this time. He's got room. He's going to go to the end zone here. He well overthrows his man. Double covered, but had a step. Trying to see who that was. It was either Eicher or Gutierrez.
That's the first pass Griffith has thrown since the first half on that 4th and long, which was broken up at the goal line. Do you go with 2 pass plays if you don't pick up the first down on this 3rd down? Because you don't want any sort of the misdirections have not worked.
No.
Those option or slash bootlegs have worked somewhat. It's going to be tough just to call a running play somewhere up the middle or off right tackle to get a first down on a 3rd and 10 as Nate Tyne is back into the game at quarterback.
3 wide to the left, 1 to the right. Tyne looks left. He goes back to the right. They try that swing pass out to Griffith again, and University saw it coming a mile away as Griffith gets dropped for a loss of 4, 5. Call it 4-yard loss there.
Down to the 21. Now it's 4th down and about 13. Well, again, you want to go downfield. They did that on a 3rd or 4th down play in the first half. That's just not going to work. You have to rely on the pass receiver to break a tackle.
It's much easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. I'm standing up here in street clothes, but on a play like that, Tyne should see that University defender coming downhill in a hurry. On 4th down here, Tyne tries to go across the middle, and there is nobody, maroon or white jersey, in the vicinity. It falls incomplete, and University will take over with 13 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well
up
under
by 20.
Yeah, sorry about that, Tyler. Well underthrown, but Nate Tyne was under tremendous pressure there, a lot of duress. And at that point, what are you going to do if you can't have enough mustard on the ball because you have to throw off your back foot?
Yeah.
And this game essentially is going to belong to University, even though we still have a quarter and 13 seconds to play. They're up by 20. They've controlled the line of scrimmage for the most part. The Bee Diggers have had limited success. And you know that they want to eat up at least 3 or 4 minutes of game time right now.
Yeah, you got to think University may be done throwing the ball through the air as they have a little jet sweep here as Dagger gets dropped at the 30-yard line for no gain. Flag flies, and then another flag flies.
Well, somebody must have been talking after the play as Griffith threw down Paxton Daggett. We'll see, 6.7 seconds to go. They're not going to run another play.
No, as soon as they call a penalty, it should turn back into a running clock. And
hopefully this is not offsetting penalties either.
No, let's hope not. Well, they're talking to Coach Rosenbrock, and Joe doesn't look upset or anything, so I think both of them are going to go against University.
Yeah, I guess it's which penalty he wants to accept. Well, you accept a penalty that was further behind the line of scrimmage. Right. So instead of a first down and 20, it could be a 1st and 22 or 23. I think that's just common sense.
Right. 3rd quarter brought to you by Better Electric, covering all electric work from residential to commercial to ag. Better does matter. Call 970-521-1030. Coach still talking with the refs here.
Well, just make the call and see what you want to do. University could make some noise in the playoffs with that offense and with a gang tackling defense.
Crosent looks about as good as any quarterback Brush has faced this year. So.
Yeah. Well, that should be loss of down. Yes, second down. That's a loss of down because
they declined the holding call.
Post-play penalty.
Right.
So it's going to be a second down. They've got to get to the 31. The ball's at the 10. Second down and 21. And they haven't changed the yard marker. There you go. And there's the end of the quarter.
Yep, that'll be the end of your 3rd quarter. Brush trails 27-7. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with the 4th and final right here on 1010 KSIR, KSIR.com, and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Welcome back into the 4th and final quarter from Bee Digger Stadium. Brush trails University Bulldogs 27-7. Last 12 minutes, Brush looking for some sort of miracle here. As University is going to start with the ball on a long second down after an unsportsmanlike to end the 3rd here as Crosent's going to go off the left side, and Ty Griffith exercising some demons. Drops him at the 10-yard line.
Ty Griffith wants to make every play, and he's in on
he's
a
in
lot
on
of plays.
I would say 90% of them. 35 is hunting for the ball.
Crosent had 106 yards on 8 carries in the first half. He's got 0 yards on 3 carries in this half. But they still have added a touchdown.
Yeah, but they're still up by 20 here. They're going to go shotgun empty backfield here, 2 to either side. Got a power back to the right. They fake it to Daggert on the jet sweep, and Crosett goes up the middle, gains 5.
And that's Griffith again on the play.
Well, when you run right at him.
Yeah. But the first time that Crosett has gained positive yardage, now they'll have to punt on a 4th and 16 at their own 15-yard line.
Sanchez is going to stand at University's between the 45 and 50-yard line.
Rush has committed 1 turnover, University with none, so that's another factor that has worked against the Bee Diggers.
Last time University punted, Brush was able to get a block here. They get him close again, but this one gets away and clean. Takes the University bounce inside Brush's 45-yard line.
That's a very good punt of, let's see, that went for back from the 15 to the 35. That punt about 42 yards with a roll with no return. Good field position, but with a passing game so far, as the Bee Diggers have attempted 8 passes and they have completed 4 for 28 yards, and that's it.
Griffith will step in at quarterback here. 3 split out to the wide side of the field, the left side. He rolls that way. Snellings is running back, blocking for him. Griffith's going to let it fly down the sideline here. That pass is going to be caught down the sideline, shy of the 20-yard line. Beautiful pass and catch there from Griffith to Eicher.
33 yards on that connection, and Eicher did a great job going up for that football, and just like that.
Really good coverage there by the University defensive back, just a better catch. And Brush, you gain a chunk play like that and only 20 seconds ticks off the clock. That's good. Nate Tyne will give it up the middle now as he's back in at quarterback. Pick up a 4 there for Tanner Ludgate.
Ludgate has only carried the ball 5 times tonight for 10 yards. And again, we have to take this game in fractions of time. You're down 20. There's 9:50 to go and the clock is running. You want to score in the next minute and a half at the very least. You have all 3 timeouts. I mean, that's the way you got to break it down. Use the appropriate word. You need a miracle.
Well, I mean, you don't need any 2-point conversions.
Right.
Even if you scored twice here, you still be down 4. We got an option play here. Pass is caught, but it's almost in the long jump pit.
Yeah, well out of bounds, and both the receiver and the defender are down. And
well, they landed on the long jump track. That can't feel good. That's like landing on. Yeah, and that's the thing. Why the Eicher's arm, I think, got chewed up there. Or he landed on it, one of the two. Anyway, it's an incomplete pass regardless. That was a option pitch there. And that ball kind of fluttered in the air as well. Eicher's going to get his shoulder checked out.
Well, it's a 3rd down and 6 to go at the 20, so you got to pick up the yardage if you want to extend the drive. 2 plays to do it.
Tying under center. He's going to do a quarterback keeper off the left side. Gets dragged down after a pickup of a couple along University sideline.
I thought that was going to be a horse collar, but a good job of the defender grabbing him lower on the jersey and bringing Tyne down after a gain of about 2. So now it's a 4th down and 4 from the 18-yard line, and this is the only chance. If Brush does not pick up this 1st down, not even a miracle can save them.
Say goodnight.
Down to 8:49 to go in the game, down 27-7. Are they going to call a timeout? Coach Rosenbrock is out on the field, and, well, maybe an official's timeout.
Yeah, I didn't see either coach signal.
Well, Brody Dick is out of the game. Did they have too many on the field? I don't know. Or is Eicher about to come back in? Because Eicher's on, there's another Bee Digger on the field.
We got.
Well, what are they doing? Yeah, you can't have 12 on the field.
Well, and there's a ref with his back turned to the play, signaling for the clock to stop, and Brush was ready to run a play. So at the end of all that, Brush takes a timeout here with 8:49 to go, down by 20.
Miller's Landscaping, you put so much time and effort into your show animals. We offer a wide selection of livestock feed and supplies. Stop by 19645 County Road Q in Fort Morgan.
Yeah, a correction. The ball's at the 18-yard line, so it's 4th and a long 3. They've got to get just inside the 15 of University. It's 27-7. Cole Croson has thrown 2 touchdown passes. He has run for 1. One of his touchdown passes went to Paxton Daggett, who had a 30-yard scamper into the end zone. The lone Big Digger touchdown came early in the game, a 4-yarder from Dominic Ontiveros. And at that point, with Brush playing so effectively on both sides of the football,
it looked good.
It looked really good. But University
Quickly turned it around.
With one play, that 75-yarder from Croson, and that momentum is carried over to both sides of the football.
Yep. University stayed calm. Two straight drives on defense where Brush had really, really good opportunities. Able to stay calm, and that's why they hold a 20-point lead here. 3 wide to the right for Brush on 4th and a long 3. Griffiths, your quarterback. He's going to roll right. He's got some blockers out in front of him. He's going to take off and run it. He's got the first down inside the 10-yard line. Dives forward. Going to be down around the 6 or 7.
Cole Croson will not get the football here because Ty Griffith just picked up 11 yards on that carry. Griffith is trying to will the Bee Diggers into the end zone. That was his 18th carry, now for 77 yards. But again, that clock is a major enemy for Brush. Under 8.5 minutes to go in the game.
Brush will send 3 way out right. They're going to bunch him up there on the left side. Griffith's going to take the direct snap here and run it off the right side. He gets down across the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal to go from about the 4. Under 8 minutes to go by the time they snap the ball.
If they score here, they're gonna have to go for an onside kick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because again,
you give the ball back, they call it 3 minutes off the clock, and then you're down under 4.
Right.
And
like you said, this offense is not designed to make that big of a play, and the football is resting at the 3. But look how long it's taking to get this play in, as we now have just over 7.5 minutes to go in the game.
Nearly 30 seconds tick off the clock there as Tyne snaps the ball. Gives it to Dominic Ontiveros. He's not going to score this time. They tried the same play that they were able to score their only touchdown on earlier in that first quarter. Instead, Dom picks up maybe 1, and it's 3rd and goal now from the 3.
Yeah, this is not a hurry-up offense. The Bee Diggers want to take their time. It looks like Tank Garrett is going to come out of the game limping. He took a little bit of a shot there now. He's going to be flat on his back at the 22-yard line. He was trying to will himself off the field, couldn't do it, as we have just over 7 minutes to go. And he's a big, strong kid who's been healthy for a good portion of the season. But at this point, when you're 8 games in, you define health a little bit differently.
Nobody is 100%.
Exactly.
It's just how close you can get.
Yeah.
Got a moment? Make sure you stick around for your post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. In the meantime, Northeastern Junior College, whether you're a traditional or non-traditional student looking for an associate's degree or a specialized certificate, visit njc.edu for more.
Well, now Tank got up, and he's going to be walking off the field under his own power. 3rd down and goal from the 2. This is a must-score for Brush, or the chances of winning this game go from slim to none.
Dom is running back in the middle again. Ludgate and Snelling either side. Griffiths, your man under center. Griffiths going to keep it, and he's going to score. First time Brush has crossed the goal line since early in the first quarter. The score is now 27-13, 6:54 to go in the 4th.
And it looks like they might go for 2.
I don't know why.
Yeah, because even if you make it 15 and then 23, you're still down by the same
4
number of scores.
Yeah, field goal won't tie it. You'll need a touchdown.
Yeah. Well, here comes Rico now, but that's late entry into the game. I think they must have figured out the math, unless Rico just wasn't ready to attempt the extra point. Here is the holder, Nate Tyne, about to place it down. And keep in mind, the clock does run,
Yeah,
not the
there
game
is.
clock, but the play clock.
Yeah.
You better get this thing off. If not, it's going to turn into a 25-yard extra point.
Rico's finally set here. Tynes looking to the sideline again. High snap. Kick up and good. So after all that, Brush goes down by just 13.
There is a chance, but again, it's slim at this point. And on that drive, the Bee Diggers did what they haven't done all game. Complete a long pass. That 33-yarder to Eicher along the left sideline was the best play of that drive.
And that already feels like forever ago. I kind of forgot that that's what kind of started this drive.
Well, we haven't charted the number of plays on that drive, but that was about a 10-play drive.
Yeah.
And that was double-digit number of plays in a drive. I'm just keeping the individual yardage. Ty Griffith now has 12 touchdowns in league play, his first tonight. And Eric Rico looking for the perfect bounce, assuming it's an onside kick. Because if you kick it deep, that's fine, but then you have to score, and then you're looking definitely an onside kick because you're down to 2 timeouts and you wouldn't have much time remaining in the game.
University certainly thinks it may be an onside. That's the way Rico's lining up here.
Yep, no doubt. Right to left on the onside kick.
6 men to Rico's left here. Kicks it hard. I don't really mind that because it's hard to get that bounce as a high school. I'd rather you kick it hard at one of their men and hope for a bounce, but University does a good job at just covering it up right around the 44-yard line.
Well, it was a line drive in the air, and it was easily caught without a bounce by Christian Gladden, a junior. But again, the point that we illustrated at the beginning of the second half, Tyler, is if Brush is going to win this game, they need to come up with a turnover. University has not given the ball to Brush once tonight.
Not even close, not a forced fumble or anything. University now is going to send 4 men out to the left, 1 to the right. Crosent, as I suspected, keeps it up the middle, breaks the tackle. First down picked up. He's looking for the sideline, across the 10-yard line, or I'm sorry, across the 20-yard line down to the 10. Gosh, it looked like he didn't have any room to go at all, and all of a sudden he scampers for like 40 yards.
Ty Griffith has been on every play, but that time he completely overran the play, thinking that it might be something out to the left, and it looks like Crosent might be hurt along the sideline. But that's going to be a gain of 46 yards and a first and goal for University. And Crosent, who was really contained in this second half, is now over 150 yards on the ground. Is that him getting up limping? Well, yeah, it is. Wow, what's this flag all about? That might be against University. That has to be against University for unsportsmanlike.
No.
Maybe against the head coach, Casey Doss, or do you see something else?
No, I didn't see a Brush player, and it's on that sideline. So, I mean, most of Brush kind of had their back to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's against Casey Doss, the head coach of the Bulldogs. He thought there might have been a late hit.
Yep, you called it.
Well, I mean, why? That's all you're doing is sabotaging yourself. I mean, they're confident they're going to win the game, but they could have had a first and goal at the 10, essentially putting Brush away with 6:41 to go in the game, and now Brush somehow can come up with a stop, and you get the ball with about 5 minutes to go and still down by 13. Who knows?
Give yourself a little bit of hope. 6:41 to go in the fourth. 27-14 is your score. University leads. League title on the line.
Yeah, they were campaigning for a call. There's no question about it.
Well, you don't get a starting quarterback. I get it, but
right.
I mean, you're not losing. It's not like you're. Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, you can't change anything. The play's already happened.
No, and Crosent is still. I mean, he's on the field. He's going to have to sit out at least one play.
Right. They're bringing in. That's not Baxley. Let's see. I had that.
I didn't see.
Yeah, I believe that is Johnny Wyrick, who also doubles as a quarterback as the ball's at the 25-yard line. He's in, as you mentioned, for one play at that position out of the shotgun.
Oh,
and the Bee Diggers jumped.
He goes hard count.
I don't know if that's an official play, though. I think he's still.
No, you're right. No play has occurred yet, so. So it'll be 1st and 5 now from the 20.
That's a genius play by University. You
Oh,
get a
yeah.
backup quarterback in there, and you go hard count,
Yep.
and the Bee Diggers are not looking at the football. They're just listening to the count.
So now Johnny Wyrick takes the shotgun, and flags are going to fly again.
Would have been a jet sweep to Daggett, but we're going to go back to 5 yards once again. It'll be a 1st and 10, back where we started. Still 6:39 to go in the game. Can Brush come up with a turnover? And a turnover that produces yardage on that end, too. One thing is to get a turnover. The other thing is to get a turnover and maybe run something back or get it into University territory.
There's 2 seconds has ticked off the clock here over the last 5 minutes of real time. So Wyrick's still in the game here. He hands it off the right side. I want to say that's number 7,
Yep.
Alexander Molina.
No blocking or no, I'm sorry. The Bee Diggers just with some high tackling there.
2nd and 4 now for University.
And there was plenty of blocking there with the ball resting at the 18-yard line. Molina's first carry of the game.
And Crossett's going to come back into the game now.
157 yards on 13 carries for Cole Crosent.
He's back in at quarterback. Running back behind him, running back to the left of him. Daggert's going to come in motion left to right here. Crosent's going to keep it up the middle. He gets stopped shy of the 1st. Thomas Poss in on the stop.
Yeah, but that's very favorable for University. A 3rd down and 1 at the 16. You got 2 plays to gain a yard. You can already smell another 2.5 minutes going off the clock. And if that happens, they'll be down to about 3 minutes to go with the Bee Diggers' chances diminishing of just even getting the ball back.
Same formation here. Running backs just flipped to the one side, the right side. That's a false start. Everybody moved except Crosent.
Yeah, it was in the backfield. The running back actually moved first. That's rather significant because the 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 6 at the 21-yard line. But again, they can eat up clock. They don't run the play, but the clock restarts.
Still runs. Will be well under 5 minutes before the ball is snapped on a 3rd and 6. Ball sits at the 21-yard line of Brush. They'll go 3 wide to the left and 1 to the right this time. Running back to the left of Crosent. Snap down. He's going to throw it there. Caught shy of the 20-yard line. The only good thing that happens there is he gets tackled out of bounds at the 10.
Well, that's Baxley for a gain of 12, and the drive continues. 1st and goal for University, and that might have done it right there.
I don't know if Brush has stopped that play once tonight.
Nope.
That's bubble screen out. Whether it's been 1 blocking receiver or 2, they have, their defensive backs play too far back to do any good.
It's beautifully designed. The ball is caught, and then there's a receiver in the area, another receiver who takes out a defender for Brush, but that time looked like the Bee Diggers had that red, but it was a missed tackle.
Now Crosent will stand in the backfield. Running backs surround him, 1 to either side, 1 behind him. They give it to the man off the left side. He's running right. Should be a hold there. There it is. University's going to run in the end zone, but it's coming back before it even made it back to the line of scrimmage there.
Everybody saw that holding, even somebody in Wiggins. That was such an obvious hold on the right side that it's going to go back to around the 20-yard line. Now, they're going to walk it off from the 12. So this 1st and goal from inside the 10 is going to turn into a 1st and goal outside the 20 In fact, at the 23-yard line.
We've had our fair share of penalties.
I think University's had more than Brush.
They have. They have, and they still lead by 13, 27-14. Clock still running. It'll be under 4 minutes to go by the time they snap this ball. Rerunning back again for Crosant, sorry. They give it to Molina again this time, and he's going nowhere.
Yeah, that's getting that time. The receiver with a carry, and do the Beat Diggers stop the clock? And let's see if they do call their second timeout, because that was a gain of maybe a yard. No, nothing there, actually. It was at the 23, still at the 23. Second timeout for the Beat Diggers.
1 timeout remaining. Sky Ranch Golf and Grill. They've got a great golf course as well as daily specials at the grill. Stop by west of Sterling on Highway 14. You're just running out of time. You're making some stops, and that's fine, but University I don't think cares.
Yeah, 4:01 to go. Let's see they just run 2 plays. Let's say they run 2 plays. Brush will call a timeout after the next one, and then University can chew up a good 35 to 40 seconds. By the time Brush gets the ball back, we'll be at about 3 minutes. They'll be deep in their own territory, and they're going to need a big, big play, a huge play, an unanticipated play.
And one play.
Yes.
Anything more than if you were going to score in your next drive, anything more than 3 or 4 plays will take too much time off the clock. And then you need an onside kick. And then
Yeah,
you got
another touchdown.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that by any means.
It's not impossible. Brush has played better in the fourth quarter. If University had the ball near midfield, that's one thing. But at the Brush 23 on a 2nd and goal after a huge penalty a couple of plays ago, University still might go for the home run because they've got receivers split out on both sides.
2 wide to either side. Crosant running back to the right side, man in motion right to left. Crosant's the keeper. They run an option this time. It's lost on the ground there. Broken tackles. That was number 11, Brevin Doss, who was your slot man there. That was the break Brush needed. They couldn't necessarily take advantage of it.
Well, it took a fortunate bounce. It took a Sunday hop right back into the hands of Doss as the 3rd and final timeout is called by the Beat Diggers. No gain.
3:44 to go in the fourth quarter, which is brought to you by Rudy's Tires. 9 is the magic number. 9 locations across Northeast Colorado, Nebraska means there's always a location close by. Visit rudytires.com for more. Brush has burned all 3 of their timeouts now. That's the other thing. You got to somehow score 2 scores with no timeouts.
If you're University head coach Casey Doss right now, you probably run the football, then go for it on a 4th down and just throw it into the end zone unless your 3rd down play
I would throw it
is
on
rather
3rd down.
successful.
I would throw it. I would go.
But if it's
for it on 3rd down.
incomplete, that's 30
Then
to
you're
45
stuck.
seconds
Yeah.
that
Right.
go into Brush's pocket. And that's the danger of throwing the ball on 3rd down. You give the Beat Diggers additional time to attempt to rally.
I still don't mind that slant play that scored them their 2nd score of the night, because Brush, the defensive backs responsible for the slot receivers, are 10-plus yards away.
Yep, this is 10-10 KSIR. Brush, Fort Morgan, Weldona.
Man in motion again, right to left. Ooh, ball's batted up in the air here. It's going to be picked off by Brush. Just inside the 20-yard line, Ty Griffith comes away. I don't know where Crosant was looking. He was looking to his left side, but it gets batted up in the air, and there was 3 Beat Diggers. It was going to somebody wearing a maroon jersey.
The only negative there, they have no return yardage, but there was no really a spot for return yardage there. However, they save about 30 to 40 seconds. They have come up with a turnover they needed. They're at the 19-yard line, 81 yards away. But if you look at this realistically, with 3:44 to go, they got to score in the next 2 minutes. A minute and a half to go maybe, and then you onside kick it. You have a prayer.
You have hope. We're selling hope. Ty Griffith will be your quarterback in the shotgun. 3 left, 1 right. Ty Griffith drops straight back. Looking down the middle of the field. He's got Hunter Proctor there. He makes the catch at the 50-yard line.
Well, the clock is going to stop.
First down, the chain's got to move. They mark it back at the 50-yard line. He landed inside University's 45. Now the clock runs. You know, the chains are not set.
It's a gain of 31. Yeah, the chains are not set. We're only 6 seconds have expired right up to the line of scrimmage. Now looking for the clock to run. Now,
well,
one of the officials up to the line
back judge wants the clock to run, but the clock operator, those chains were not set. The clock operator knows what he's doing. See, that's not right on the ref because he's not looking at the chains. The chains have to be set before that clock can run.
Well, now 8 seconds are going to come off the clock.
They set it to 3:26, and now it starts to run down to 3:20. Ball is snapped. Griffith rolls to his right out of the shotgun. He's looking for Stegner there. He's got to throw across the field. He throws deep. Ooh, ball batted up in the air there. That was a really good defensive play by number 4, Marcus Loma. I don't like throwing across the field like that, but.
How about Griffith's last 2 passes before that one for 64 yards, 33 to Eicher and 31 to Hunter Proctor. The ball is at midfield, but keep doing that. These are the 2 best results you can have. Either a first down or an incomplete pass.
Right.
Because you don't want that clock to keep going.
3 receivers bunt, or 3 receivers to the left again. That's where Griffith's rolling this time. Throws an out route that goes over the head of his intended man. I think that was Stegner again.
But again, if he makes that catch, he would have stayed in bounds. He was near the sideline, and you don't want that because the clock continues to roll. I think here you look towards the middle, not deep middle, just somewhere at around the 40-yard line. Try to get a 10-yard pattern for a first down. Stop the clock, and then if you have to clock it, you can go ahead and do that.
Right.
But now your season is down to 2 plays at the 50-yard line for the league title, trailing 27-14 with 3:09 to go in the game.
They split 3 to the left again. Ball's near the middle of the field. Griffith rolls left again. He'll keep it this time and just get out of bounds after a gain of 4.
Well, at least now it's a 4th and about 6. So there's a shorter amount of yardage for Griffith to gain. Oh, well, what kind of a spot is that?
Yeah, they
Gave
cut
him
him
only
short
3
a yard.
yards.
Yeah,
87 yards for Griffith on 21 carries, but this is it. 4th down and 7 at the 47. The B-Diggers have no timeouts and 3:01 to go in the game. Let's see if they can pull a rabbit out of the hat.
from University's 47-yard line. This time they'll split 3 to the wide side of the field. It's the right side. Griffith shotgun snap. Tried the hard count. Nobody moved. Griffith rolls right here. He's got Proctor down the field. He throws it short to Wiley Eicher.
It's a gain of 14 and a first down as the drive continues for Brush. Griffith, 3 out of his last 5 have been completed. Second reception for Eicher for 47 yards. But I don't think, did he go out of bounds?
Well,
I thought he fell inbounds.
Well, he fell inbounds. I don't know. I think the refs did him a solid there, but he almost acted like he wanted to make sure that he was inbounds for the catch, and then he kind of,
right.
It's like, well, you needed to get out of bounds too.
Yep.
The refs did him a solid there. I think I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he stayed in bounds,
thought
but
he
it
did
doesn't
too.
matter. They ruled him out of bounds after
yep.
the catch was made, so the clock stops.
3 wide to the left side this time. Griffith's looking that way, straight drop back, goes across the middle of the field. He's got Hunter Proctor open. Hunter Proctor makes the catch down around the 5-yard line. 2:48 here as the clock will stop. Chains need to move.
Gain of 27 to Proctor. Man, the B-Diggers are still breathing.
Ty Griffith will go under center here. He might clock it. That's what he does. Flag flies.
Oh, boy, that's going to be procedure against Brush, you would think.
Not enough men set, or the line wasn't set.
Right, or illegal formation, perhaps. 2:40 to go in the game. What a drive this has been. It started at the 19-yard line. You've had a couple of huge pass plays, actually 3.
Yeah, legal formation on Brush.
Well, it's 1st and goal at the 11. You have 4 chances to get the ball into the end zone, and there's no reason the clock should be running after any play. Just go end zone, end zone, end zone, end zone.
And you don't need to save a play call for a 2-point conversion either. That still doesn't do you any good. Griffith shotgun snap here. Goes back to the right. Proctor didn't turn around in time. That pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, I think he wanted some sort of back shoulder completion, but
Yeah.
he threw it into the ground anyway. And that might have been the right decision because the receiver Proctor was blanketed by the University defender.
So 2:36 to go in the fourth. University with a 27-14 lead, but Brush at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, Proctor's had 2 receptions on this drive, and Wiley Eicher a big one on a 4th down.
Shotgun here for Griffith. He's going to take it and run it off the right side. Picks up maybe 1.
Are they going to give him the 9, which would be a couple of yards, and that's it. 22nd carry of the game for Griffith. He's got 89 yards unofficially. But now forget about the ground game. You've got 2 plays that you're going to be throwing the ball.
They do give him the 9.
And this is harder when your field is condensed to free somebody up. But if Ty Griffith can do it, the B-Diggers would draw to within a touchdown.
Proctor's split out left. Stegner is split out right. Griffith will look left here. Straight drop back. He goes to the center of the field there. Threw a rocket that I don't think anybody was going to catch, even if it hit anybody's hands.
Well, that was double covered in the middle of the end zone, and you're not going to score like that. You're going to have to look off your primary receiver because when somebody's double covered, that means somebody else is obviously single covered, and that's the man you got to look for. And this is it for Brush. 4th down and goal for the 9, 2:26 to go. And essentially, if they don't score, University could take 3 knees and almost take it down to nothing. But what a drive. I mean, Brush has traveled 72 yards, but they need 9 more.
A couple of really nice pass plays. Hunter Proctor's been the man to come up with them here. Griffith will go under center this time. Straight drop back here. He's looking to the center of the field. He throws it up for a prayer. It's batted up, and it's going to fall incomplete.
Well, that almost had a Hail Mary type of feel because there were 3 receivers and about 3 or 4 defenders. And at that point, you're banking for a deflection for the ball to be caught. And if you're a University right now, you probably just run the ball conservatively up the middle. Brush has no timeouts remaining, and that would be it.
Croson's going to bring the play in here. If you're Brush, you've had problems tackling all night. I don't know how that doesn't stop.
Lyman defeating Wiggins 34-14 with 2 minutes to go. They've taken advantage of 4 interceptions thrown by Wiggins.
Croson's going to run right here, get stopped there for a loss, and a flag flies.
Well, if you're Brush, you decline it. First of all, it's a loss. Now, but I don't know in the high school rules if they continue to run the clock after the flag. NFL and college, if there's a flag,
Stop play.
you stop until the next play commences.
Right.
So
see.
here, you don't take the penalty at all. But we'll find out what's going to happen after the penalty, which will be declined. Or are they going to just pick up the flag? I don't know.
Haven't heard what the call is yet.
Well, there's no indication. The ball's resting.
So blindside block is
Yep.
the call. He does decline it, so it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, the loss is back to the 5, so it's 2nd and 14, but they do
There,
wind the
yeah.
clock, and that's the difference in high school ball. It's not inside of 5 minutes or anything, or 2-minute warning in the NFL. You wind the clock. And at this point, the B-Diggers need a strip, something crazy like
Yeah.
that.
Like a scoop and score. So we're under 2 minutes to go in the fourth now. Croson's just now running in with the play.
But again, Brush had 57 yards of offense in the opening half. On that drive alone, they had 72 yards. If they could have done more of that throughout the course of the game, it'd be a different story. University calls a timeout with 1:42 to go.
Not necessarily too little, but definitely too late for Brush, as University does. They call their first timeout of the half.
The Bee Diggers tonight had 113 yards on the ground. And believe it or not, through the air, I mean, that last drive alone allowed Griffith to get over 100 yards passing. 218 yards of total offense for Brush. 113 on the ground, 105 in the air. That's balance, but that balance has to be established over 4 quarters.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be over a full game, not just in the fourth quarter. So the stat sheet won't look terrible, but the score will reflect a much different story.
Yeah. Well, and the ground game's so good for University. 294 yards on the ground for the Bulldogs.
So after University's timeout, they hand it off up the middle for a gain of maybe 1. With 1:35, this thing will wind under a minute before University gets another play off.
Yeah, there's no doubt 2 big plays in the game. The 75-yard touchdown to get University on the board, and then that 3rd and 11, 18-yard touchdown pass to Paxton Daggett. If Brush makes that play there and you force a 4th down play, perhaps it's 7-7 at that point. But once it becomes 14-7, then they extended it to 20-7. That momentum carried over into the third quarter.
Hit a minute right now as Croson takes the snap, hands it off again up the middle. Loma breaks tackles. I think that's number 7 as he gets all the way out past the 35-yard line.
Well, that ground game just got a lot better. It's a gain of 32, and they'll take a knee, and that'll be it.
Yep. Molina was the ball carrier there. I apologize, but that'll be 1 knee for University, and they will take home a victory in the league title. Rush goes to 3-1 in the league and 4-4 overall, with 1 game to go against Timnath next week here in Brush. University does indeed take a knee. That'll do it for this game. Post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with said post-game show right here on 1010 KSIR Brush, Fort Morgan. Welcome into your Advanced Agri Solutions post-game show. Make sure the nutrients you've purchased for your fields are getting to your crops. Get a full plan of seed, food, and water with Advanced Agri Solutions. Call Dusty or Roxy at 970-571-2024. Your Brush Bee Diggers fall to the University Bulldogs 27-14 in a league title game. University able to dominate about the middle 40 minutes of this game. Brush, a little bit of early success, a little bit of late success. Too little, too late for Brush, and they fall tonight.
Well, the Bee Diggers got on the board in the second drive of the game, but something you pointed out, Tyler, they missed a field goal from about 35 yards. Rico just cut it short, but they should have gotten closer anyway, and that could have been a 3-0 lead. They would score in the second drive. The game started out great on special teams, a 55-yard kickoff return by Juan Sanchez. The defense had sacked Cole Croson, and they were stopping the running game as well, but then Croson all of a sudden had that one big play. He rolled out to the left, cut it back to the middle, went 75 yards down the field. It tied the game at 7. They scored on the next 2 possessions, the 3rd and 11 that we referenced on the 18-yard touchdown pass to Paxton Daggett to make it 14-7. And then they were able to make it 20-7 just before halftime as Crosant, after the 18-yard touchdown pass, gave it off to Daggett on that jet sweep. And he just swept around the left side, broke a couple of tackles. And the Bee Digger offense, meanwhile, was stagnant during that point. University would extend the lead to 27-7 as Logan Getting had a 35-yard touchdown catch. And then they ultimately just won this game 27-14. Ty Griffith did have a short touchdown run from a couple of yards out. And Brush did put together their best drive on the last drive, 72 yards. But on a 4th and goal for the 9, the pass was broken up in the end zone. The Bay Diggers with 218 yards of total offense, and University with 338. The big man was the quarterback, Crosent. He ran 15 times for 155 yards. Crosent also completed 6 of 10 passes for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, the Bay Digger pass game did get going late. As you mentioned, a success late as they threw for 105 yards, a majority of those from Ty Griffith, who had 22 carries for 89 yards. But outside of that, Dominic Ontiveros did have that 4-yard touchdown run. That's the first touchdown the Bay Diggers scored. I'm not sure I mentioned that correctly. But there was an interception thrown in the game by both quarterbacks, and now the Bay Diggers season is essentially over because they will not make the playoffs here. They have a chance for a winning record when they defeat Tinmouth next week. I know that sounds premature, but Tinmouth has not won a game. Tinmouth has not been competitive. It's a new program this year. But unfortunately for Brush, their best moments of the game, as you alluded to at the very beginning and at the end, and University took control of the majority of that time.
You can't help but wonder how different the game would have been if on that first drive you take advantage of Sanchez's good return. They come away with a missed field goal there. Maybe you score a touchdown. Your first defensive series, you get a blocked punt. You do score there. Maybe you go up 14-0. This game looks a lot different with University having to come back from 2 scores down rather than just 1. They get the 75-yarder. They tie it up at 7-7 early. That momentum swung back really hard and really quickly, and Brush was never able to regain it. Even in the fourth quarter with their success, those are kind of somewhat empty stats as University was. You could tell they felt like they had this in the hand.
Well, they were empty stats because Brush only had 57 yards at halftime, total yards,
right,
and they accumulated like 20 of those late in the first half. So they were at 30 yards of total offense for the first 22 minutes of the game. Anytime you have 1 yard per minute at any portion of the game, unless your defense is playing shutdown defense, you're never going to win that game. And Brush was always behind the 8 ball tonight, except with that early lead. And it was, Tyler, it was just weird because those first 4 or 5 minutes,
oh, man,
you're thinking this
totally
is Platte Valley of last year, where you are really controlling the tempo
from the jump.
And one play changed everything. And not only did Crosent go the distance, he was gaining more separation on those Brush defenders.
Speed.
And all of a sudden, I think he got in Brush's head thinking, man, this guy is fast. If we don't contain him, he's going to have another big gain. And he did have that 46-yarder in the second half. The thing is that he became a passing threat as well.
Oh, and broken tackles absolutely killed. There was 4 or 5 bubble screens thrown by University where they gained 10-plus yards on every single one of them. And there was multiple broken tackles on each one of those plays you can look to and say, well, that might have been a 7-yard gain rather than a 15-yard gain, or that might have been an 8-yard gain rather than a 22-yard gain.
Well, they executed those plays perfectly. As I mentioned, the pass was caught. Then they had a lead blocker out there, so there wasn't a second Brush player who could make the play and bring that receiver down to the ground, and that frees you up for the double-digit yardage that you talked about. But it was a nice mix, a nice selection of plays that University was running. They weren't as predictable as the Bee Diggers were in the first half. I think Brush got a little bit more diverse in the second half as opposed to the first half. They might have had a false sense of security because there were 2 or 3 drives, at least a couple, where that first play on the ground went for 7, 8, 9, 10 yards, and then it was 1 yard, then it was 2 yards. And then you try to throw a pass out in the flat where you gain virtually nothing. Then you try to go downfield. There was nothing there. And again, only in desperation mode when the Bee Diggers were down by 13 points did they have any success with the passing game. Maybe the most success they've had all season.
Yeah.
But when they got inside the 10-yard line and that field is condensed and those lanes closed down even more, that's when Brush was unable to find the end zone. And because of that, they lose this game 27-14. So we'll see if Coach Rosenbrock is able to make his way up here. I mean, I know he's probably got a lot of things to think about tonight after a tough 13-point loss that is going to end Brush's season after next week's regular season finale against Tinmouth.
Once again, post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Don't forget weekdays at 1 p.m. Don't miss out on 10-10 preps and more with one John Beltran. He'll give you a rundown on everything from Broncos and Rockies to college sports and prep sports. 3-decade staple for sports fans is on 1010 KSAR and KSR.com at 1 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and say Coach Rosenbrock is probably going to stay down on the field after his team, as you mentioned it, they drop the league title. They will probably win. You mentioned Timnath, a new program, a young program. They're also pretty banged up. We'll see what that game brings next week. But
You got a winning season on the line. I mean, they're going to win. They're going to win 4 of their last 5 games, and unfortunately, it's not going to be enough.
A weak schedule does not help. This was a very, very weak league aside from these 2 teams. So,
well, that's it. And again, you lose by a field goal at Yuma. Yuma's going to the playoffs. You lose 27-7 to Wiggins in a game that was tied at 7 in the third quarter. Wiggins is going to the playoffs. And then you lose to Rifle 28-23. Rifle's a bubble playoff team, but that victory over Brush in the 4th game of the season could propel Rifle into the playoffs. But without winning one of those 3 games, the only option, actually for University as well, was to run the league schedule, and the Bead Diggers are going to fall 1 game short of doing that.
And give credit to University. They did not get rattled. They came to play tonight. They played hard. They gang tackled really well. Brush's broken tackles almost non-existent. Even on those big gains, it's not like they're breaking tackles for those big gains. They're just a quick burst play for a little bit of a chunky yard. So give credit where credit is due. University came to play, and they're going to come away with the win.
Colorado Prep Scoreboard Show is coming up next in about 3 minutes with Kevin Schaefer as the Bead Diggers go down tonight, Tyler.
Final score, 27-14. Brush falls. They'll look to rebound their last regular season game of the year next week against Timnath right here from Bead Digger Stadium and Larry Mills Field. Once again, post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Player of the game brought to you by Gordon Insurance. We mentioned it for the victorious Bulldogs. It was their quarterback, Crosent, did it through the air and on the ground. Give credit where credit's due. He had a good game, player of the game. With that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you to Rose Condis back in the studio doing a great job as always. Thank you, Rose. For John Beltran, I'm Tyler Carmen. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll hear from you next week from Bead Digger Stadium against Timnath. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a good night.